Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Kidder-Graves. I'm an executive career coach, and my niche is working with marketing and sales executives. But I'm here to give you my current update on what's going on with this job market. And I have to say, I was a little delayed in getting started because I'm having issues with my voice, but I have a throat lousenger, so I think I'm good to go. And this way we can just jump right into the details. All right. But keep your fingers crossed that my voice doesn't go away. That's my only thing. Okay, so you can find a job in today's job market. That's the good news. You can definitely do that. But this job market is very different, as many of you know already, from prior job markets. It's just very challenging. Things are taking longer. So I'm here to tell you about observations, and these are observations and suggestions from talking with my clients, okay? Because they're in the market with you. They are looking and what they're noticing, okay? So I really wanted to share this information with you and to really help you. So the first thing is, what's the best use of your time as you job search, okay? Because that was one of the tips that I wanted to give you, okay? And really the best use of your time as you job search is to be connecting with others. So many people, I hear this every day, you see job postings on LinkedIn or on other platforms. But especially on LinkedIn, it seems when you go to apply to something, hundreds of people have applied, maybe even thousands of people have applied. How are you supposed to stand out from all of those other people? And put yourself in the recruiter's shoes, the hiring manager's shoes. You have hundreds of resumes to go through. There's a better way. There's always a better way. And as a hiring manager myself in the past, and many of you have been hiring managers, what's easier? And in my previous client session, we were talking about how my client found their current role. And they found it because the CEO, really was relying on one of their connections, someone that they trusted, someone that they respected their opinion. And this former colleague of them, told them to hire my client, and they did it. So that's the easiest way for hiring managers to hire people. You go to your network and you say, who do you have? I have this opening. This is what I need. And that works well. And that's just how it is. So you need to keep that in mind. That is really important. Okay. And in taking a step further, I want you to evaluate your connections. I want you to evaluate your network and really look at it. And we'll take, the area that you're in. Are you a sales leader? Okay. Look at your network and look at how many people outside of sales that you have that you're connected with. Okay. You may have, if you're in sales, if you're a sales leader, you might have too many sales connections. Okay. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but in this job market, having diversity in your connections is going to help you. I really think that, and this is an observation that I had with one of my clients, and also too, in talking about it with other clients, they agree. So you want to have diversity. So if you are a marketing executive or a sales executive, Are you connected with HR executives? In the past, I've said not to really, go to HR or talent acquisition all the time, but with the CHRO or the head HR person, they could help to get you to get in front of the hiring manager. It's quite possible. Okay, so that's something to consider. But look at your connections, really evaluate them. Finance and accounting people, operations people, having diversity in your network. And this is for you people too that aren't not doing a job search now, but maybe you'll be doing one years from now or whatever. When you look at your network, look for diversity of functions, because that can really help you to have a stronger network. Okay. And because that's going to be what matters in a tough job market like what we're in right now. Okay. So look for the diversity of functions in your network. Okay. So that was my first tip. The second tip that I wanted to give you is, what's the one thing that you need to focus on? What is the one thing that you always need to focus on in your search? And to me, it's, number one, you want to get the results. You want to get that new job. How do you get that new job? You get interviews. You need to have interviews, and they need to be good quality interviews. Okay, so we're working toward getting those interviews with the decision maker, with the hiring manager. Okay, so that's the key. That's what you need to focus on, is connecting with those decision makers, connecting with the hiring managers, right? I'm not saying that connecting with HR is bad or a waste of time. But as a former HR leader, we have so many things that we're responsible for. And when there's an employee issue, and those things just pop up, we have to deal with those things immediately. And who has the most skin in the game? The hiring manager does. They want that job filled, because any job opening, if you're a hiring manager, any job opening that you have on your team is a problem that you need to solve as soon as possible. So focus on connecting with a hiring manager. Do not get distracted by all these other things. Now, if someone can help you to connect with a hiring manager, that's great. You really want to find that person, that booster, that person who's an advocate for you, that person who really believes in you. If they are connected to the hiring manager, that's jackpot. You've hit the jackpot, and you've got to have that person help you to get in with that hiring manager. Just like that example I gave a few minutes ago of how my client got into her current role was because a former colleague of the CEO said, you need to hire her. So that's what we want to happen for you. Right. So keep that in mind. Okay. So that was the one thing that you need to focus on. The next one is how to work smart versus hard, because things are taking longer. Things are definitely taking longer. Connecting with the hiring manager maybe taking longer in this job market versus, prior job markets. Okay. So how can you work smarter? Okay. And if you're a marketing leader, I think this will be easier for you because this is your expertise. But you know how you look at response rate? You're working different channels and you're looking at your response rate. And again, this is something that I saw in a discussion that I had with a client, and I saw him applying his expertise to his job search, which is great. So, but if you're a non-marketing person, you can still do this. Okay. Look at the different ways, the different things that you're doing in your job search. What is working? What is giving you results? And especially when you're connecting or networking with people. You should be, there's that group of people that you went to college with, that you went to get your MBA with. Are those people getting back to you sooner? Do you have a better response rate from them? Or ex coworkers or former bosses? Like, who are the people that are helping you out the most? You may be tapping into your personal connections, and that can work too. But where are you having the most success? It's good to pause and look at that and say, what is working right now for me? Because whatever is working for you, you want to do more of that. Right? You definitely want to do more of that. So that's a key thing to focus on. Okay. So really look at those high response rates that you're getting. And then my fourth tip here that I have is how to stand out from your peers, how to differentiate yourself. And again, we're taking, your job search, you're selling yourself, you're marketing yourself. So we really want to tap into that sales and marketing expertise and apply it to you into your job search. So there's so many different ways that you can stand out from your peers. Okay. But let's go back to that key issue of it's taking longer. It may be taking longer to connect with the hiring managers. And you have to put yourself in the hiring manager's shoes. We're all inundated with things constantly, every day. It's like, between our cell phones and our laptops and, just trying to be focused and get our work done. So keeping that in mind, how can you be different when you're reaching out to, a new person, someone, a new connection, and think of that as cold outreach, right? It's, someone who doesn't know you from anything, and it's like, how can you be different, right? And I think it's important to try to show your expertise. That's the thing. We want to show your expertise and we want it to be different. Okay. And a really good book, actually a couple books for you to check out to help you with today's job market. I really like, Never Search Alone by Phil Terry is great. Okay. And they have a group here on LinkedIn. So definitely check that out. Okay. I've been sharing it with my clients as well, because I think it's a great resource. But also too, an older book is The 2-Hour Job Search. Okay. And he has a specific methodology, and he talks about the different people that you connect with, boosters and, applicants. So that can be really helpful for you as well. Okay. But for you to differentiate yourself, you want to take a fresh approach. You want to do something different from everyone else. So how can you, and you can be doing this throughout your job search, not just when you're doing cold outreach, trying to connect with those hiring managers, but, asking, saying, hey, I would love to talk shop with you, maybe, and looking at the companies at the top of your list, your target list, which you should have. You should have a target company list, and trying to reach out directly to the hiring manager there and trying to engage them. Like if you had the opportunity to have a coffee with them, just to chat for like 5-10 minutes and talk shop, what would you say? What would be the questions that you would ask them? In marketing, some of our tools are doing a SWOT analysis. What are some things that you could do? It's instead of leading with, I need a job, which feels awkward and needy and it just doesn't feel good. It's like remembering you have expertise. Okay. You have been invaluable in the past in your career. You've made contributions. What is your superpower? How are you different? And use that in your job search and use that when you're engaging in these new conversations with these new connections, with these new hiring managers. Getting back to the example I cited about, my client, how she got into her current position. Your connections will help you to connect with those hiring managers. And that is the easiest way to get in with them. But your connections need your help. You want to help your connections to help you. So often when someone will ask me, "Hey, Christine, can you introduce me to this hiring manager because I heard that they have this opportunity?" I'm happy to do it, but I will ask you, what is it that you want me to share about you? And it really comes down to, what is it about you that you think is most interest to them? Like, why? What do you think they're going to want to know about you? What do you think will get you hired for this job? Because again, that hiring manager, envision them being constantly inundated with all these people coming at them. They have their job to do. And in addition to that, they have this problem of a job opening that they have to fill. So given that, how can you get their attention so they could break away and just check you out for 5-10 minutes? Check out your LinkedIn profile. You need to make sure that your LinkedIn profile is tight. It's buttoned up. It's got everything that it needs to, because that's your landing page. And if it's not firing on all cylinders, then if someone reaches out on your behalf, before I talk with someone, if I'm a hiring manager, before I will have a conversation with someone I've never talked with before, I want to look at their LinkedIn profile. I want to look at them. I want to get more familiar with them and learn about them. I'm not going to be reading it thoroughly, but I'm going to look at it. Okay. So if your LinkedIn profile is not where it should be, you need to get that fixed immediately, because it comes down to connecting, networking with people, because as I said earlier, it just doesn't seem to be working to apply for job postings. I'm hearing constantly of people that have applied for 80 jobs and they're getting very little, if any. They're not getting the interviews. And that's a lot of work to be doing to get no results. And I don't want that to happen to you. That's not good. And it doesn't feel very good. It's demoralizing. So we don't want to go there. We don't want that at all. So yeah, so those were so again, to summarize my 4 tips, it was around the best use of your time as you job search. Really try to be an effective connector, networker, assess your network. Now, if you don't have diversity, you have all these people in your function, but you don't have a lot of people outside of your function, don't despair. Just start now. You got to make some new connections outside of your function. So reach out to CFOs, reach out to CHROs, reach out to the COO. Do that. Okay. Focus on the hiring manager. Always focus on the hiring manager. And then look at what is working for you, and if what you're doing, if you're finding nothing you're doing is working, then what's something new that you can do? What is something new and different that you can do to get interviews? Because now is the time. There are job openings, but don't forget too, there's a lot of job openings. Still constantly finding this. My clients are finding roles that are not posted. So yeah, there may be, and don't ever be discouraged if you don't see a lot of things that are posted, because it doesn't tell you what opportunities are open. It doesn't give you all of the opportunities. Okay. So look at what's working and then really try to channel your expertise when you are making cool connections and show people sooner rather than later your expertise. And you can do that with questions. Questions are an excellent tool. And I mean, have you ever met somebody new for the first time and they asked you an excellent question? Like, I feel that that's one of my superpowers is asking good questions as a coach. I mean, a good coach has to ask questions, good questions, thought-provoking questions. And you can do that too. So, in my calls that I have with people that I've never talked with before, I ask them questions. And I think it really makes a difference. It helps to differentiate me, but I'm also helping them because I haven't been asked that question before. So, you, as a marketing expert or a sales expert or whatever your expertise is, what are some thought provoking questions that you can pose when you're doing cold outreach, when you're trying to connect with a new connection that you've never talked with before? Really, look at what are some good questions that you can ask. All right. So to wrap up, it's time for me to wrap up. I also wanted to remind you because of this time of year that we're in with the holidays and the end of the year and the new year, this is a great time to reach out to people that you haven't talked with before. One of my clients said this and she was right on the money. So reach out to those people. Hey, how have you been? I've been thinking about you. You know, um, be authentic, please. Don't be phony, but do that. It's a great time to reach out and send a handwritten note. How many times do you receive a handwritten note from someone? That's a great way to differentiate yourself if you feel that's authentic for you. It's nice. So I encourage you to do that if you don't feel strange or goofy doing it. Okay. But well, if it's I want you to step outside your comfort zone. That's a good thing to do. But yeah, if you feel it's on brand, please send a handwritten note to people. Okay, it's a good thing to do. And then the last thing is I want to encourage you to connect with people because yeah, doing a job search has its highs and lows. And often connecting with people, especially the people that you haven't connected with in a while, can really charge your battery and can make you feel good. So don't forget to do that because that's important. And I wish you wonderful holiday season and happy new year. And I look forward to seeing you in 2024. Thanks, everyone. Bye now.